So, have you guys ever been to the gym and you really aren't sure what you want to do first? Like, do you want to get on the treadmill and run first, or do you want to go straight to the weights? Because I know when I first started going to the gym, I struggled with this. I didn't know what I wanted to do first, and I spent a lot of time and I wasted a lot of time just like debating this when I could have actually been getting more time actually working out. So this is something I want to address. Hey, Boogie. All right. So the truth is, there's no one size fits all. There's no black and white answer. It's really just dependent on your goals. So I know some people want to lose weight, other people want to gain muscle and just improve their strength. Other people are interested in improving their cardiovascular endurance. So it really all just depends. And then other people are just really trying to get more movement in, more physical activity. They don't really have a specific goal. They're not too meticulous when they go into the gym, and they just want to improve their general health and become more fit. And that's fine too. None of this is a bad thing. So we're going to go through each of these goals and tell you what you should do first, depending on what your goal is. Hey, Allison. All right. So based on what your goal is, you can determine what you should do first and last. So we're going to talk about weight loss first, because this is, I feel like, the most common goal people have, or at least people I come into contact with, people that I work with. And this is probably like the most common question I get. So we're going to start with weight loss. So if your goal is to do weight loss, you're going to start with strength training first. So don't be mad at me, guys. I know you guys probably hear all over that you should really focus on cardio, but you should start with strength training first and then do cardio. So the reason for this is when we exercise, our body uses three things for energy. So our body uses glycogen first, and glycogen is really just a stored form of carbohydrates. And then once that stored form of carbs is depleted, you start to use your fat for energy. And then once that's depleted, you'll start to use your protein for energy. And this is something that we don't want, because it starts to attack your lean muscle mass. And it's not good long term, because we want to have muscle long term. So you don't want to use protein for energy. So the two things that we focus on is glycogen and fat. So what happens when you do cardio before weightlifting? So unless you're doing cardio on an empty stomach, unless you're doing it fasted without eating nothing beforehand, you'll burn a combo of carbs and dietary fat. So essentially, you'll just be burning the food that you ate that day. You're not going to be burning body fat. The key word here is dietary fat. So you're going to be burning that glycogen and dietary fat. And then it takes about 30 minutes of steady state cardio to actually start burning that body fat. So a way that I like to think of it is, when you do cardio before strength training, glycogen is like a brick wall between you and your fat loss goals. So think of your body like a busy highway where all the cars are already traveling on the highway, and the cars that are traveling on the highway currently they're all glycogen cars. So all the cars are fueled by glycogen, and they're speeding by, and then on the side street, like for example, like on America, you know how you have the stop signs, and it's really hard for you to merge. These little yellow cars are the fat cells waiting to get onto the highway, but the glycogen cars are just speeding by, and they aren't letting the fat cell cars on. So while all the glycogen cars are speeding by, the fat cells are just waiting for the chance to get on. Occasionally, and if you guys have any questions when I'm speaking, you guys can just put it in the comments. I'm looking on my other phone. So occasionally a fat cell will get onto the highway. Like once there's an opening in the highway here and there, a fat cell will go onto the highway. And this is basically what happens when your body is when you're doing cardio during the first like 30 minutes. It's mostly glycogen, but here and there, a body fat cell will get burned and used for energy. So 30 minutes later, there's no more glycogen cars. The highway starts to free up, and then the fat cells can finally merge onto the highway. And this is what happens to your body. Once you depleted your glycogen after the 30 minutes of using glycogen for energy, your fat cells start to get used for energy at a faster rate. So this is when you finally start to break down fat to use for energy. So the 30 minutes beforehand, your body you're not even burning that body fat that you actually want to target, that you want to shred in order to lose weight. So this is just another just slide, just reiterating that. So the first 30 minutes, you're using your main energy source. You're using glycogen. You're not burning any body fat. Then the remaining time after that, that's when you're using body fat for energy. And when you want to lose weight, you're really trying to lose that body fat to shred those pounds. So you really want to focus on something that helps you burn body fat. So when you go to lift the weights, because you depleted all of your main source of energy, all the stored form of carbs, all of your glycogen, you're tired. You're not going to be able to generate enough force. You're not going to be able to complete as many sets. You're not going to be able to complete as many reps. And then because when you get tired, your form starts to deteriorate. You aren't going to be able to perform whatever exercise you're doing at its highest quality, and then you'll be at risk for injury. And we don't want that. You'll be coming to see me. You don't want to do that. So if you reverse it, and if you were to do strength training first, you would be able to lift more. You'll be able to have more energy starting off. Like you'll go into the weightlifting session fresh with a lot of energy. Then you'll be able to spend all of that glycogen on your weightlifting. And then when you go do cardio at the end of your session, your body doesn't even have any glycogen to burn. Like you're going to start using body fat right away. So instead of having to wait that 30 minutes for your body to use up all of its glycogen and then switch over to body fat, you'll first deplete your glycogen and then you will start using body fat right away. And then this will allow you to be able to burn more fat and lose more weight. So it makes more sense to get your weightlifting done first and then end with the cardio so that your body immediately starts using body fat for energy. And then another reason people should do strength training first is because it helps to build lean muscle mass. And I'm not saying like get bulky or anything like that, but in general, the more muscle mass you have, the more muscle you have in your body, the higher your metabolic rate will be. And then because your metabolic rate is high, your body is going to be burning energy even when you aren't in the gym, just to maintain that muscle. So you'll be burning calories when you aren't working out, as opposed to when you do cardio, you're only burning calories when you're doing that specific activity. So in the long run, you'll be burning more energy just to maintain the muscle mass you have and stay healthy. So strength training will always trump cardio. Also, I want to say, when I say do weightlifting before cardio, I'm not saying that you can't warm up on a bicycle for 5 to 10 minutes. You can't start off with a light jog. That's all good because it helps to get blood flow to your muscles. It helps to get your muscles warmed up for the activity you're about to do. But don't go and do a full cardio session before weightlifting if your goal is to lose weight, because you're just hustling backwards when you do that. You about to go lift right now? Me too. Today was my day off. All right. So now we're going to talk about if your goal is to gain muscle and get stronger. So if your goal is to gain muscle and or increase strength, you want to focus on progressive overload. And all this concept is saying is that in order to keep making gains, you must continue to make it more difficult and challenging for your body. So just like anything in life, if you keep doing it, it'll eventually become easier for you. So once your body adapts to the activity you're doing, it won't continue to get stronger, it won't continue to grow unless you somehow make it more difficult. So some ways to apply this progressive overload principle is a couple things you can do. You can increase your weight, the amount of weight that you're lifting. You can increase the amount of sets you're doing, and you can increase the amount of reps you do. And then you can also decrease the rest period that you take between sets. So this will make it harder because you're not going to like take 2 minutes to do one set and then take a break for 2 minutes and then do the other set. Like you really push your body and make it harder, and then you'll even get your heart rate up higher when you do that. So definitely try doing some of these things to keep your body always adjusting and challenging your body. So an example of somebody not doing the progressive overload concept is somebody who say you're doing squats, 3 sets of 5 reps with 150 pounds, right? Week 1, that's probably really hard for you. You probably barely got through the sets. You got it done, but it was really hard. Week 2, it was still hard, but it was still a little bit easier than the first time you did it, right? And then week 3, you know that you should be increasing your weight, but you probably don't want to. And you stay at that same weight, and then you do the same thing for week 4. Eventually, by the time you get to week 4, you're a month in, your body's going to be adjusted to doing that weight for that many sets, that many reps. So eventually your body is going to stop adapting to it, and you're going to start to plateau. And then you're going to see like your gains stop, and we don't want to do that. So instead, you could keep the same weight, sets, and reps for week 1 and 2, but as soon as that gets easier, just add 5 pounds. So instead of doing your 3 sets of 5 at 150 pounds, add 5 pounds, do it at 155 pounds. And then this always forces your body to continue to work harder and keep your muscles growing and keep your strength gains increasing. Does that make sense? Let me know if anything doesn't make any sense. I'll try my best to explain a different way. All right, so this is just an example of me. I am obsessed with this movement. Everybody knows I love upper body. So in August, I started doing overhead press, and I started with just a barbell, 45 pounds. Then the next month, it took me a while to progress, but the next month I added, I think that's 2.5 pounds on each side. Like, it's really hard to load this movement, so I just added a couple pounds, and then that's what I'm working at now. And then probably when I go to the gym next week, I'm going to try to add some more weight. So that way my body isn't getting used to what I'm doing, and I'll continue to make gains and get closer to my goals. So we talked about how progressive overload is the key to gaining muscle or increasing your strength, but this requires energy. And if you do cardio before you weightlift, you're not going to be able to progressively overload your muscles as much as you want to. So this is why it's really crucial that you lift before you do your cardio workouts, if this is your goal, because you will have the most power, you have the most strength, the most energy to lift heavier loads, which in turn will make you stronger and make your muscles grow more. All right, and then you can do cardio after your weightlifting session. If you're somebody that is still trying to keep your body fat low while still putting on muscle, it'll be smart to do this because, like I said in the previous slides, you'll burn through all your glycogen stores, your main source of energy, and then you'll start attacking your body fat right away. So that's a good way to keep your body fat low while also putting on that muscle mass that you want. Then you don't want to be too fatigued or tired before you do your weightlifting. So this is why another reason you should keep it for afterwards. And once again, you don't want to be at risk of injury. So it's best to do the cardio after you've done your strenuous weightlifting. So if your goal is to improve cardiovascular endurance, so these are like people who are runners training for a 5K, a marathon, a triathlon, anything like that, or if you're into like cycling, you want to do cardio first and then strength training if you do want to lift weights. But you always want to focus on cardio first if this is your goal. So the reason you want to do this is because, like I said, with strength training, if you do strength, whatever you do first, you're going to deplete your main source of energy. So if your goal is to improve endurance, you don't want to go and lift heavy weights. That's not putting you towards your goal. You want to really make sure you're using your energy on what your priority is so that you can really go all out, push yourself to the limit, and make improvements. Because if you go into your session tired already, you're not going to be able to push yourself to the point that you need to make progress and get to your long-term goal. Then if your goal is to just improve general fitness or health, so this is like a lot of people who just say, I just want to like get moving. I just want to improve my physical activity. Some people I know, they want to do Zumba one day, and then the next day they want to just run on the treadmill. The next day they want to lift weights. Like if you don't have any specific goal, if you're not too meticulous and you just want to stay healthy, stay active, you can do really whatever you want. Like this is something my teachers always respond to me with when I ask a question. It depends. So I figured I put in there. So it really depends on what you want to do, what you enjoy. If I was somebody who just wanted to improve my health, I probably would never do cardio because I don't like cardio. So if you're somebody who doesn't like weightlifting and you just want to improve your health, you could just do cardio. You could do Zumba, you could jump rope. Like it's not really specific because you don't really have a specific goal. You're just looking to improve your health. So it really just depends. So this is just a short recap. So if your goal is to lose weight, what are we going to start with? Are we going to start with strength training? Because you, my mom says Zumba all day. She really loves Zumba. Yeah, if your goal is to lose weight, you want to focus on strength training because you want to deplete your glycogen, your stored form of carbs first, and then as soon as you do your cardio after, your body will waste no time and start burning body fat right away. If your goal is to gain muscle or improve strength, you want to do strength training first when you have the most energy, you have the most power, and that'll allow you to progressively overload and always make improvements. Then if you're somebody who wants to improve their aerobic endurance or cardiovascular endurance, you want to do cardio first because that's when you will have the most energy and be able to put the most effort in to get closer to whatever your goal may be. Then if you're somebody who is just into improving general fitness, it's really all up to you. You choose. There's no wrong answer. Whatever makes you happy, you do it.